Welcome back. One of the largest strikes in the Madison area over the past decade will continue into June. That's the latest as more than 400 TruStage workers vote to keep the strike going. Formerly known as CUNA Mutual, workers there say contract negotiations have failed. They've been without a contract now since March of last year. I'm joined by Joe Evica, the union's chief steward. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So as I understand it, it was really your termination that served as a last straw of sorts, was it not, in terms of just these ongoing negotiations since last March?
Yeah, so we've been negotiating for more than 400 days, and in the process of negotiating, our company has really tried to do everything that it can in order to avoid reaching a fair agreement with us. We're more than 450 workers at CUNA Mutual Group. We make up IT workers, call center workers, media specialists, branding and marketing people. And really, we've just been asking that they provide us things like fair compensation, that they don't cut our pension, that they don't offer us things that we don't deserve, given the fact that the company has made billions of dollars. So.
And with your termination, it was, walk me through that, right? Where, you know, the belief from the union is that this was essentially union busting. You're the chief steward. You sent out, walk me through kind of the process and why the belief is there that this was specifically a strike against the union.
Sure. So about 5 or so months ago, the company really started using a lot of the anti-union kind of tactics that some employers use in order to halt the negotiation process. So one of the first things they did was start stalling at the bargaining table. They refused to meet with us the way that they had met with us for the first 10 months of bargaining. And we filed unfair labor practice charges around that. That's just a common union avoidance strategy that employers use all the time. It's a part of a standard anti-union playbook. After that didn't work and coworkers were still fired up to, you know, try to fight for a fair contract, they started sending emails on almost a daily basis to my coworkers with misleading things about the proposals that the employer were offering us. When that didn't work, they went to a third strategy, which is a very common one that companies have used for centuries, really, which is intimidation. Companies, you know, not just TruStage, but also companies like Starbucks and all companies across the country have done that in order to try to convince people that they should stop fighting for things they believe in. So I truly believe that they targeted me because of the fact that they're attempting to get my coworkers to stop fighting for the things that we believe in.
Now, the union has voted this week to basically continue the strike into early June. What's the impact on the workers? What's the impact on customers?
Well, there's been a big impact on both. One, my coworkers are still fairly upbeat on the picket line. They recognize that what we're doing is having an impact on the company. And in terms of customers, we've heard, you know, that customers have been complaining about the lack of service that the company is able to provide while we're out on strike, which really just demonstrates the value that we provide every day as employees at TruStage. I've also heard that management is attempting to the best of their ability to try to perform all of our duties while we're out on strike. And in some cases, they're able to do it, and in some cases, networks go down, outages occur, and you know, there's problems that result from it.
What are the non-negotiables that union workers want in place before the strike is called off?
Yeah, so we have a few things that we're looking for. The first is to understand it's an unfair labor practice strike. So the reason that we called the strike is because we filed more than 9 unfair labor practice charges against the employer. That's things related to bad faith bargaining, refusing to provide legally required information that the union has requested from the employer. That's retaliation, not just in my case, but also in the case of other union leaders at our company. And the misclassification of contractors, which is a really big issue. They've outsourced more than 1,200 jobs from the Madison area in the past 20 years, and they've replaced good-paying union jobs with temporary benefited, non-benefited part-time contractors. So those are just a few of the reasons that we're out on strike.
I want to read a statement the company sent us earlier this week. The day that the vote was, the vote went through to extend the strike. Quote: they are determined, the company, to reach a fair and competitive agreement. They're continuing to meet with the union and exchanging proposals. What have the negotiations been like? Do you feel? I mean, clearly, if the strike is being extended, nothing is being agreed on. So what has it been like behind the scenes in terms of push, pull, compromise?
Yeah, I mean, since the strike began, our union offered 10 days to meet with the company. In response, they only provided 3 days of availability, and we've only met once since the strike began.
Only once?
Only once, on the 24th. So unfortunately, even though the company is claiming publicly that they're making an effort in order to reach an agreement, if they truly were, then they could be meeting with us today, yesterday, and many of the days that we've offered and provided them in order to bargain and reach an agreement.
So 24th is Wednesday. We're talking on the 26th, which is Friday. There's no meeting site scheduled for today, I assume?
No, the next meeting that they've agreed to is on the 30th of May, next week.
Okay. Just kind of wrapping things up here. How long do you think this might go on, right? What are the compromises potentially the union's willing to make in order to bring this to a close?
Yeah, we've already made a number of compromises through this process. We've compromised on areas such as wages, on areas related to vacation, on various kinds of language regarding job security, and the company's outsourcing and contracting of work. They're still requesting to freeze the pension plan for all new hires. Our company's made $1 billion in net profit in the last 3 years, and they say that they would only save $189,000 by freezing the pension plan for new hires. So there's no justification for many of the concessions that they're offering us. We would really need to see that they halt all of the concessions that they're putting forward in their bargaining proposals, because the value that we've brought to this company over the last several years is so high. Their profits are high, and there's just no reason to offer proposals to us that amount to cuts to our wages after inflation or cuts to our benefits.
Joe, thank you so much for coming on, sharing some of that with us, and yeah, we'll be watching closely as this develops.
Yeah, thank you.
And just ahead, the latest in political infighting at the Capitol over a massive funding overhaul for local governments.